What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Happy Friday. It is I, Joseph R. Wheeler III, artist, founder, president of the ONYXCON Foundation. Welcome back to another live right here on YouTube. And as we get this thing started, I'm getting my settings right, you know what I'm saying? If you want to hit the chat, all my chatters are my subscribers. I only talk with my subscribers. I rarely ever, and I do mean ever, allow just open chat, because yeah, you get the randomness, you get the silliness, the goofiness, the trollisms and all that, and I'm zero tolerance. I really am. Too well defined and too grown for that, you know what I mean? Can't play them games. But I love when my real ones come in and talk, so you're more than welcome. And especially I'll say 18 and up. Okay, I got to be quite frank about that too, because I have had little kiddies want to get on here and chit chat, but I ain't into talking to people's babies. You know what I'm saying? And I always say this channel is not a channel. It's not a babysitting channel. You know what I'm saying? Like we have content that's family oriented. We have content that is, cute animals and toy stuff and all that, but it's from the perspective of grown folks that observe things and acknowledge things. And, if I give a parent or a guardian an idea about, I'm gonna get this for my nephew or my niece or my baby, my son, my daughter, or whoever, cool. I'm glad to know that ONYXCON is helping you, know what's available. That's what we do it for. We're here to share awareness, put people up on things about life, living your best art life. That's what we're here to do. That's what we share. Art, life, creative existence, thinking outside the box, acknowledging other levels of life besides the mundane and the regular and the average. We ain't that at all. We all about, we may do a few things that everybody does, but we do a lot of things that most people never knew existed. And then as a result, we create new groups of folks who are willing to be individuals and willing to step out into new worlds and new realms and realize what more life can be besides what they may have only known it to be, in addition to what they already know it to be, if they like the kind of stuff we do. You know what I'm saying? We love to travel. We love, we're about hip-hop cultures, plural. I always say I don't do it for the culture, I do it for the cultures, because where we intersect, but where we don't, you in your lane, I'm in mine, we go in different directions, but we might cross paths, but that's it. It's just crossing paths. It's okay, but that's the beauty of it. We're all, different flowers in the human family, in the garden of life, attracting all the right bees to our flowers, you know what I'm saying? So we can pollinate the best life we can live creatively. That's this art life. That's what I'm telling y'all. It's so much sweeter on the art life side, man. We live life to the fullest over here. You do it on the next level over here. For real. And you'll be sometimes reacquainted with things you're already familiar with, but you're gonna look at them different because you're gonna see them through a different filter. You're gonna say, I never thought about that, or well, I'll be dang. Okay, yeah. Now I get what that means, or now I say why they do that, or I never knew that. That's what we here to share. Edutainment, education and entertainment. Speaking of which, if you're not familiar with Fanbase, I always mention my Fanbase account because we have one. We've been on there for years. And I want to encourage more folks to come over there on that platform too. Broaden your social media horizons. Don't just TikTok and Facebook and even YouTube yourself to death. Like, stay here. I don't want you to go nowhere. I want you to enjoy this content. And we're gonna be doing I know I'm gonna be doing it. Because of this weather we got coming in tomorrow, if you know about it, in the east coast of America right now, we got this major, not even just the East Coast, this thing covering if you see the circle that they have over the map of the United States of where this could hit, this storm of snow and all this, it's like all of the South, all of the Southeast, all of most of the East Coast. So, naturally New York and Chicago, places like that up north, they get it, Midwest. But we talking about the where I'm at. I'm in Atlanta region, so Southeast, all of the state of Georgia, even the top of Florida, I think gets a little bit of it. So even Jacksonville might see snow. Who knows? It's one of them years. Louisiana might get it again this year, like they did last year. There was snow in New Orleans last year. Can you believe that? There was snow in Miami. Like last year was crazy. And I wouldn't doubt the same thing couldn't happen again. You know, whatever they got the circle on right now will move, and then it'll end up hitting Florida too. It's these different temperatures, man. It's this global warming. It's the Earth trying to cool itself down. So when it does, it's extreme. It's like, all right, we're gonna have storms in places we don't normally have. We're gonna get more snow in places than we normally get. Like last year, we had 2 days of snow, as I remember. Really more like 3, because it lasted that long. And by that second time, I was annoyed because I've lived in New York my first year of college, and I said, man, if this keep going, I ain't working. We can't do this. I got to get in the ride. I got to get out here and get it, like I'm doing right now, even, And so it did, it lightened up, but it took a minute. It was not like no typical Atlanta snow. Usually when we get ours, first of all, it's not even usually snow. It's ice, little bits of ice. This was real snow. It was fluffy and pretty and all that. And then it iced over, so you had ice too, and that's what made it dangerous with the roads. It was slushy and crazy. And then we have so many counties. I think Georgia is second to Texas for the most counties of any state in the U.S. It's so many. So each one dictates whether or not they're going to invest in salt and salt trucks and all that stuff. So some places, they don't do that because they like, man, whatever. Let them sit home for a few days. They'll be all right. They don't worry about it. Now, city of Atlanta got embarrassed some years ago when we had that ice storm. People calling it snowpocalypse. It was not snow. It was ice. That's why I still laugh at people from up north, New York and everything. Man, y'all shut down the city over some snow, man. We get snow every day. Yeah, okay, fool. That was ice. Try driving on ice with your bad ass northern ass. Unless you got some chains on your wheels, you ain't going nowhere, I promise you. And it ain't, I've lived in New York. Y'all ain't got hills like we do. We got hills and slopes and curves, and man, there was buses trapped at the bottom of pits. Like literally, like I'm talking about whole buses slide back down and can't get up the hill, and they stuck. And then cars coming down on them, so it's just a big mound of wreckage. That happened. It was really bad. So, and I'm not laughing at it. I'm so far past it. You can kind of smile at how ridiculous it is, but it was scary. It was for real. Like there was reports, people talking about how they just had to park my car on the side of the expressway and walk home because I couldn't keep sliding and stuff and mess around and hit somebody. And then when you would see it, like once the stuff cleared up and you riding, you see people on the side of the highway where they left their vehicles and stuff, just locked it up and walked. Damn, So it's for real. It's for real. And we never know how it's gonna be when we get what we get. Plus, our trees and our forests are different. We got stuff that will fall when it gets, we got old trees, stuff gets old, everything, people crack me up acting like trees aren't living things. Like they don't think about none of this stuff if they never had to live with it coming from some of these other places. When they come to Atlanta, they all in shock. Like, what the hell, all these trees done fell on my power lines? We got trees, like you're supposed to. You should have trees. This is what happens. It's only natural. Tree get old, tree gonna die, the tree will fall. Parts of the tree get old, they fall off, big ass limbs and stuff. And if you ain't got the sense that some folk didn't know back in the day, which I learned the hard way from an old house I used to live in, you never want to have a situation where you got a home too close to like a real big oak tree. Because they will get old. They will sometimes get diseases that they get naturally as they get old. And your stuff will have stuff falling on your house. It's for real. What's up? I gotta keep out. Doing a little recycling here. I gotta drop some stuff off. Oh boy. Who work there? You say, hey, you just kind of wave. Say, what's up? I see you. What's happening? Talking to my people, saying hi. You can get the other side of the coin, man. I'm showing you the good smile. What's up? Share with that negative energy. All right, y'all. Somebody was asking, do I stream every morning? I stream every day if I can help it. You never know when I'm gonna stream, to be honest. I don't have a set time. I don't have scheduled times yet. I always say this because that's funny you asked that. I like, there's a part of me that wants to get on a schedule because I know people. All righty, righty, righty. All right, all right, all right, all right. We back in, y'all. In. So tell a friend. We say in the film biz. So as I was saying, like I was talking to this cousin, like I said, and she gave me some real good advice. She just said, I told her straight up. I said, I have a mostly. Here's the other thing. I said, if I wanted to just do fishing videos, I couldn't because I live in Georgia. I said, where you gonna catch an abundance of fish in my area of Georgia? My area of Georgia right now, when it being as cold as it is. It's not gonna happen. When it gets colder, they just don't bite like most species don't bite in freshwater. Okay, I can't speak for the salt water and the brackish. I don't live off the coast. I've fished off the coast. I've done content from the coast. That's a 4-hour trip to Savannah, to Tybee Island, to those places where it's really sweet for that. Okay, and up and down all the way to places like Brunswick and all that kind of stuff. That's some trips, man. That is not just, oh, I'm gonna go fishing today and edit it up and put it out by the same day. When I get home, I edit it the same day and put it out. Most of what y'all have seen on my channel when it comes to my fishing videos, I'm doing that stuff same day. Okay, because I'm excited. I want to see it. I want it to go on and get it out there. I can't wait. Out of that, unless it's really one of those epic movie type presentations I've done before. And then I learned from doing those. I was like, man, don't nobody care. I'm not saying nobody, but until you have the massive audience that you're building, most people really ain't watching you to that level where they're gonna sit there for an hour. They're not gonna give you that much of their time with a fishing video. Even the ones who love fishing might have to come back to it, which I want. As long as they come back to it, I'm good. But some of them ain't gonna do that. They're not even gonna come back. They just gonna, oh man, that's right, I didn't finish that. And it ain't even because they didn't like it. It's because it's not. I'm not Jeremy Wade. It's not on Disney, and it's not as polished to that degree. But I mean, my sound might still be great. My video might be amazing because I'm working with a top-notch phone and all that good stuff. It don't matter. I don't have the other level of production quality. I'm not adding in all those other types of music. I'm not trying to get everybody with the type of music I do use. Um, I'm doing stuff that of I'm building my audience based on my own taste. I'm trying to get a relatable flavor for my audience. Okay, worldwide, and obviously it's working because I got a world audience. Some people could care less that they may not listen to exactly what I listen to, but they like the sounds I put in the background, or they like the music I put on my short videos or whatever. So what I'm getting at is you can't please everybody, even when you're trying to. And if you try to focus on one thing, all you're going to do is run out of material, and you're not going to post every day. Or you're going to start repeating yourself, which is what I see with everybody who does do that. And I do mean everybody. Everybody I know who has a one niche channel, they repeat themselves all the time, and they have a formula. And in some cases, I ain't dissing. Hey, they got money I'm not even making. But I also know as a creator, because I am an artist. Now, some of them, they're not artists, so they don't care. They just repeat to repeat. And if it makes the money, I don't care about nothing else. I just want the money. I told y'all, respect first, then power, then money. I respect my art too much to make my shit watered down and do something that would drive me to boredom. Like, I'd be like, man, I'm so sick of saying the same exact thing every time. I'll do my intro, I'll do my catchphrases, but damn it, we're going to go somewhere else. We're gonna catch a different type of fish every now and then. If I'm fishing, we're gonna take a different trail if I'm hiking. We're gonna go to a different country if I go to a country I've already been, we're gonna go at least one new place that I didn't go last time I went, because I might want to repeat some of the places, but I'm not gonna go. It ain't gonna look like I just did. Damn, you took the same vacation all over again. Like, for real. Like, there's people I even subscribe to that literally, I said to myself, I try to tell myself, because I like their content so much, or what made me subscribe to them so much is not getting boring to me, but it is. It is. It's getting fucking boring. I'm sick and shit tired of seeing some of the people I really like do the same exact thing every single fucking time the camera's on. They got the same jokes. They got the same conversation. They got the same. Now, I'm sure I got a bunch of repeat buttons too. We all do. That's part of this, doing this, what we're doing. But I know one damn thing. You ain't gonna be able to say, "Oh man, you always talk about sneakers." No, Shit, let it be the wrong week. You might not see sneakers for a week. I've had some months like that. Y'all may not have noticed because by the time I kick it up again, it takes up for lost time so hard because there's so many shoes, and all you gotta do is go back in the store after give it a rest and go back in the same store when they get a new shipment. You got man shoes everywhere. It's all kind of new cool stuff to put on camera. Yeah, y'all. Yeah, I'm going to like I say, one thing about me, I'm going to make sure I juggle all of the different things that I do. And I won't say evenly because, like I said, fishing content is a seasonal thing for where I live. It's a seasonal thing. I tried once upon a time to have a channel where it was other channels I tried to do once upon a time. I had a channel that was going to be just for the outdoor content. It was technically the beginning of what would have been ONYXCON Outdoors Worldwide. I didn't even name it that. At the time, I had when I was a kid, a fishing show and everything. Fishing, hiking, just outdoor, just what I'm doing, but through his eyes, his life. And it was called The Outdoor Experience, okay, with Russ Wheeler. That's my dad. And I grew up in all of that. We would go as family, and we were the cast. You know what I'm saying? We were the characters. Me, my sister, my mom, and my dad. And he was the host. And this was the first ever, not just the first black man on public broadcast television to have a outdoor show in I think it started in the late 70s or 80s, in the 80s, early 80s. But the first ever period. There was nobody else had a show like this. If anybody know Atlanta history and know about public broadcast channels and shows that used to be on back in the 80s, you may even remember the show. But, you know, this was amazing that he even did what he did. And then he used to interview and go to pretty much before what people do now as social media was a thing. My dad was doing it back then. He was doing it then, right? You know what I'm saying? He interviewed the owner and founder and president of Bass, BASS. Yeah, interviewed him. We got the photo and everything of him standing in bell bottoms with a satin uh, starter jacket looking jacket. It wasn't starter, but it's that style of jacket. Dress shoes, bell bottoms, like very, very early 80s picture. And the guy who owned Bass looking like a straight up cowboy and stuff, and he's interviewing him. And that was the only interview that dude granted that day. You know what I mean? My dad loves to brag about that story. But I tell all that to say, when you're doing that type of content, right? And my pops was dealing, he had a cameraman. I remember he hired a young cameraman in college, somebody who needed the experience and wanted to put that on his resume and everything. And the guy was pretty good, but I remember also he was really young. And he did. And when I got older, I learned why my dad would be frustrated sometimes. He told me stories about, stuff he went through when you're dealing with people and they get slack on, because they don't take it as serious as you do. And they don't understand this is an opportunity that can grow and continue. And they start slacking and flaking. And you paying them, but they still flaking. People, man, people are rounding cats. You ever heard the phrase rounding cats? It's rounding cats. And cats don't want to be rounded. They want to do whatever they want to do. They want to be random, right? They want to run off, bounce off the wall, and then go to sleep. You can't. You almost can't do it, right? But that's how it is when you're managing any type of organization or production of any sort where you have to have people power. You're going to constantly have a revolving door of talent. You're going to have people come in your life and go out your life because it's going to, even sometimes when they don't want to, just circumstantial. Somebody get sick, they get in an accident, they have a baby, they get pregnant, they get married, they have a death in the family. Life stuff be changing the story real quick, real damn quick, right? And I've been through that with ONYXCON as a convention when it was a live event. So much so to the point, me and my same cousin were talking, and she said, I love when you do the classic ONYXCON content. I said, I'm going to use that phrase. I like that. I may have said it myself before, but when she said it again, it made me, yeah, exactly. It's classic. I know I've said orthodox because I like that as a heavy word. Orthodox ONYXCON, but that's so formal, I think some people won't ever understand what the hell I'm saying. So classic is a good, simple word to make the point. Classic ONYXCON, I know I say core. I say the core ONYXCON, the original ONYXCON. The classic ONYXCON stuff is mostly the things that people think of when they think of a Comic Con, because that's what it was when it started. Comic book culture, the movies related, sci-fi, fantasy, superhero stuff, all of that, right? But even when I was doing the convention, I had a lady who she was into all the stuff I just said, and she cosplayed. And I let her set up a booth one year for free. Because she wanted to volunteer to be a special featured cosplayer and help with anything needed around the place. So I was like, word. I mean, we could never go wrong with her. And she's a pretty lady too. So I was like, a pretty woman and a nice cosplay. And you're gonna be doing what? And she's like, yeah. And I'd like to have a table because I do vegan food. And I'm not even vegan. I didn't care. I was like, I know some of my audience was. Okay, a grand portion of a small enough but noticeable enough portion of my audience were vegan and stuff. So I said, even though that's not my life, I can appreciate it. I've eaten some good vegan food and enjoyed it. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. Set up a table, show them what you got. Yeah, I'll do a little demonstration. It's just nothing too heavy, just little hors d'oeuvres, and we'll have some vegan stuff out there. I said, they'll love that. And what, it's gonna be free too? Yeah, I'll give them away. Oh shit, yeah. You know, people are gonna be in line for some free, test some little hors d'oeuvres, and oh really? It's good. Sit there and talk your ear off and try and get the recipe. Yeah, that's what she was giving. She tell them how to make it, everything. I said, hell yeah, and people loved it. When I tell you, I walked by the table just in time to get me one. I was like, you got anything left? I got one for you, of course, Mr. Wheeler. Gave me one. I was like, man, that is good. But like literally, it was the last. She was cleared out in probably an hour. And of course, everybody going on the table, attractive lady, like I say, with some food to give away, in a costume, looking strong and sexy. Oh my gosh, man, it was over. It was over. Carla Rab. I was trying to remember her name the whole time I was out speaking. Shout out to Carla. She'll probably never see this, but I'm just giving just due, you know. But yeah, Carla Rab DeRosa. That's her name. Shout out, homie. But yeah, she did her thing, you know, and people loved it. So I'm saying like, then I had musical performances. At most Comic Cons now, you have more of that. You didn't always have that. I know I was one of the first to ever have multiple musical performances. I'd have somebody rapping, doing hip hop. I'd have somebody singing. At the very first ONYXCON, before we even had the convention day, I'm talking about the opening ceremonies day with the art show and the first speaking, the introductions and welcomes. We had a live singing performance from the legendary, she goes by Dr. Fu, okay? Afua, okay? Shout out to Afua. And I forget her singing, oh man, the name of their singing group, because they weren't even actively a group when I asked her to do it. She just said, I think I could get her to do it, and I'd like to do it with her because I have some songs that I wrote with her and blah. And they were both pretty ladies, and man, we was killing it, man. Oh my gosh, we was killing it. It was fun. It was great. It was all that, right? That happened. Uh, Man, soul singer Donnie came out one year and performed with Wolfpack ATL. Wolfpack, shout out Kebby Williams, my homie from Mays High School, where I went to school. Shout out ATL Mays High. If you know, you know. You know, he came out legendary, world, always traveling, world renowned saxophonist, saxophone legend. Played on the Outkast album, one of the Outkast albums. Kebby Williams. Look it up. You know, we got receipts. Ain't no capping over here, baby. It's all receipts. So I'm saying we done the work. We did the thing. We still doing it. And what I learned from the way I've always done everything, when you got a lot, there's always gonna be something somebody missed. People used to do that at my convention, a live event. You can't see everything at a convention. I was in that panel, man. I didn't know y'all had a dance going on when I was in. Yeah, man, a dance just broke out. It wasn't even. It was. We had one year where literally some of my artists knew capoeira. Okay, the Angolan, and then South American, Brazilian martial art, African-based martial art, capoeira. All right, anybody who knows Tekken and knows Eddie Gordo, you know it. That's what he does. That's capoeira. Some of our artists know this form. Two of them in particular, I'm thinking of Dawood Anyabwile, Mashindo Kuumba, who was one of my special guests one year, many years. But this particular year, they were like, the DJ hit something that was just the right thing. And I don't even know why or how it started. It was just, I was standing there right there when it happened, like somebody was grooving, because, you know, it's a dance and a martial art. It's a combat, but it's a dance combat. And they started doing some stuff. And then somebody said, "Oh, you do that? Like you play?" They use the phrase that you play. They call it play. And they started doing some of the slow ritualistic movements with each other. And it's like a version of it where you're not attacking. There was no real fight. They just going through the choreography slowly. And before you knew it, two other people got into it, and it was like two circles of capoeira going in the middle of the con. I was like, man, nowhere else but ONYXCON. And it was self-contained love. Everybody just made a nice little circle, watched kids and families cheering on, and we all, when they finally did their last moves, somebody do a crazy flip or spin, and trust me, they were doing all that. Folk were going crazy, clapping and hugging, and then they went right back to buying comics and art posters and, and dipping in the theater to see whatever I had on the screen because I had movies playing. All of this is happening at the same time. All of this is happening at the same time. This has always been ONYXCON's format. So if you come to my channel and you say, what's this about? It's about anything you were lucky enough to witness that day. That's what it's about. Just like my con. When I did a convention, it was like that. That's how this still is. We are a lifestyle of creativity. The one thing that ties it all together, it will be somehow artistic. And if you don't really truly understand what art is, you still gonna be on some. I don't know if I get it. I don't know. It ain't for you then. Bye. It's okay. We don't have to have everybody in here. It's never been for everybody. It's a very like what I just said about the capoeira, how that happened. Everybody couldn't have been there for that. The whole world ain't invited because there's some people. Oh, they fighting. Oh shit, we about to pop off in it. No, you dumb, stupid motherfucker. This is a dance ritual. Sit down. This ain't a fight. All right, y'all. So, I gotta pay attention. I'm still driving, so. All right, here we go. Ultimately, what I'm saying, y'all, the reason why I get so passionate about it is because we're so close, and I know we're gonna make it. I know I'll look back and remember looking at these videos like, man, remember when I was just like felt like I was begging people to just subscribe but be real subscribers. Don't be the fair weather. I don't need fair weather, man. I don't need people who just thought it was something to do that day and then a day later they like, but damn, what is this? I don't like that. Look, I'm not looking for picky children who don't eat their vegetables. You know what I'm saying? I don't need kids at the table that when I feed them everything in my menu, they frowning up at the stuff that's actually good for them, and all they want is the condiments. Like I often say, my a short is in some ways like a condiment. Don't get me wrong, our condiments are still top choice. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got regular mustard, baby. We got grape Paul. We grape Paul up in here. You know what I mean? But still, even with grape Paul, even with real honey mustard with real mustard seed, ground mustard seed, spicy with actual Georgia fresh, locally produced real honey. Like no other added, nothing else added. No preservatives, no fructose, none of that bullshit. Real. You said you want honey mustard, but honey mustard. Ugh, you know what I mean? Like real food and shit. I'm different over here. I'm different over here. So, don't expect what you're used to where you've got to work a little bit for your quality. I keep saying this is social TV. This ain't regular TV. We're all used to regular TV, but I've trained myself not to be a regular TV watcher when I'm on YouTube. This requires some interaction. It is social. It is interactive. You have to push a few buttons on your remote. You have to. I check out my main man Ace Live. I always like to shout out Ace for some of the top-notch and definitely a huge inspiration to me for what I've created with my travel content. Right? Ace says at the beginning of all his videos now, he has this thing that says, if you really enjoy watching my videos, did you know they only look their best if you put them in 4K, because I shoot my stuff in 4K. So make sure your video settings are at the highest level so you can get the best quality picture and really get the experience I wanted you to have when you enjoy my content. I love that he put that on there because I know that. I've learned that myself from just doing YouTube. But a lot of people don't even know that. They don't know, like, yo, you have the option of hitting that little wheel, and right now it's at a default level of quality for what the picture looks like. And it's usually going to be the 3 something, or I forget the numbers. But you want the number one. And it's going to tell you where it may take more data. Every fucking thing takes data on this bitch. Can we get over that? I'm sorry, it gives me crunk, man. I be like, what the fuck you talking about this data shit? But the data don't mean a damn thing no more. I get all this so-called, I'm supposed to have unlimited data with my damn phone bill, right? But every month, as much content as I do, every month I get to a point where it says, you're going to have slower speeds because you've used up all your data. I thought I was unlimited. You full of shit. You ain't no such thing, man. There's no such thing. There's always a limit. So I don't care if it's slow as long as it comes in. And it still comes in, so whatever, we working. Let's go. Show me my stuff. Stop playing with me. I don't need all them little. I don't even want to hear all that other why it ain't gonna be the best bullshit. Just show me the damn thing, please. Thank you. Just don't ever come back talking about I couldn't pull it up. Like, just make it happen. That's all I need. If you can feel me, hit that like button. Thank you. So that's how I feel about when, people don't know because they're not, it's like the app don't tell you, and it should suggest it, since it's that big of a thing for you to understand there's a possibility. You could get a better picture if you want it. Man, nothing worse, because I used to watch some of my stuff and be like, why it look like that? It didn't look like that when I was editing and when I first posted it. Because it switched, and sometimes you gotta watch it. You have the settings set, it'll change on its own. Like if you get an update or anything, it'll just automatically default to that bullshit. You got to constantly be checking these things. It takes work, is what I'm getting at, people, to see what you want to see, to get this better quality content that's not spoon fed to you. See, the mainstream is going to spoon feed you whatever it decides you need to be seeing. And then you're going to wake up one day and be like, I feel empty calories. I don't feel nutritious. I don't feel healthy. I'm not getting anything with any weight to it. Everything's fluff. Yeah, yeah, that's what you get when you only deal with the mainstream. But when you go off the beaten path, over here on YouTube, I'm real right now, live time. It's 4:60, 4:26. Maybe I am a little dyslexic because I sure flipped that just now when I wanted to. I went straight to the 6 and flipped it. Anyway, 4:26, y'all. But you know what they say about us? They say we geniuses. So come on. 4:26 right now in the Atlanta, Georgia area. Look, I'm saying it in live time. I'm saying, look, this is work. I'm working for you. You're working for me as a consumer of my content. If you're going to subscribe, be about it for real. Don't take this for granted. Do never take it for granted. Anybody you see on YouTube. I've been seeing a lot of stuff lately to verify what I'm talking about. Because sometimes you don't know if you can, it's when it's I'm not religious, right? But I do have faith in some things. Some things I have faith. And religious people speak of faith because faith is having conviction in something without proof that it even exists. But you just know it's real to you. And that's all it's got to, you say a personal relationship with your God. Okay. The word God means that which is invoked. From G-H-U-T, Gut. It's a Sanskrit word from India. Some of y'all just jumped off a cliff because you can't believe that all these years you've been saying this word and thought it was so European because, the concept of European this, European that got you thinking everything ever is of that. No, 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 it's not. Gut is the original word. Shout out India. All my Indian subscribers, thank you. Okay? And it means that which is invoked. It's a verb. It's that which you call upon. It's action, people. You get action to get the result. And so I'm saying, if you have faith in what you're calling upon, when you say to yourself, I want this level of content, I want this kind of quality content, well, then God it into existence. God it into existence. When you hit that subscribe button, understand, When I keep saying everything I say that is direct, if I don't go back and make I'm human. I make mistakes. I made a mistake the other day and I had to correct it. It was some stuff that I was saying about a character in He-Man, and I had to wait a minute. What was I talking about? I corrected it. I took the video down, not completely because I learned don't do that. It's a tip for my YouTubers. Never delete a video. I learned that it messes with the numbers. Whatever numbers you already got off that video still count, but the minute you delete them, you deplete them. I said, ain't that a trick? They shouldn't do that, but that's how it works. So what you do is you just make it unlisted and you still keep the numbers. Like if 500 people watched it, you still get them 500 people watch time hours. I said, oh shit, well I ain't never gonna delete nothing no more. I'm just gonna unlist stuff I don't want up. But I just had some misinformation on there, so being responsible as a YouTuber, the video wasn't somewhere that I won't ever visit again. It wasn't a once in a lifetime visit to this store to show these cool toys and shit. I said, man, please, I'll be back in there next week. If I want to, I can go there right now if I wanted to, whatever. Delete, next, you know, and I don't feel no way about it. I didn't, not, to, not delete, unlist, next. I unlisted it, you know, but I still get the numbers. But the point is, you know, unless I'm making a mistake like that, you can believe me when I say to y'all, speaking specifically, look, I need you to go and look at my playlist. There's a reason I'm always talking about the playlist, because that's where the content is if you're somebody who wants to see more. And to take it back around to my good, wonderful cousin, shout her out again, my cousin Whitney. She said, I love your fishing videos because of nostalgia. I said, yeah, I'll tell you what. Have you seen all of my fishing videos? She said, it starts to get to a point where I feel like I've seen it all. I said, impossible. Not impossible, but I just know her. I know her. I know her. She know me and I know her. I know her well enough to know there's no way in hell that she's seen all of what I've done because I've done too many. And she might watch, you know, I know her patience level too. She ain't gonna sit there and watch all of them, but she'll watch. Yeah, she'll come back maybe. So I said, did you know I did a video when I was in Mexico where I caught my first mahi-mahi? I admit I have not seen that. But this is one of my greatest epics of all time. Like, when it comes to my fishing videos, there's certain fishing videos that to me are the best of the best you must see videos. Matter of fact, I might even put together an extra playlist. Best fishing videos here ever. You know, best ONYXCON fishing videos or something. Because I want to call it ONYXCON fishing tournament, but I'm learning that people, until you got the audience secure, you can't give them too many words. Because they used to being spoon fed. So they get a little frustrated when you make them think too much. So you kind of, yet other people can do it all the time. But I've learned other people I'm referencing when I think they didn't do it, why can't I do it? Because they were part of the system that pushed them out with billions of dollars and made them famous in people's households. No one would ever know who half of the rappers we talk about were if a major corporation had not said, okay, we'll put some money behind their tour. They didn't just go on YouTube and get that big. You don't get to the level of, and I'm only saying his name to make an example because of how recognizable he is, not because I'm a, you know, I tell you, he's on the fence forever right now with me because of his actions about how he was part of that celebration of this insanity we're dealing with this political situation. When the fool went in, he performed for him at that major concert along with Soulja Boy and all these other, but Snoop Dogg and Nelly, and even I found out recently that Ludacris. I said, damn, Luda, shit. I didn't think you was that, man. Come on, bruh. Shit. So yeah, he was on that too. But anyway, he's recognizable because the machine pushed him. He's recognizable because he did a video with Dr. Dre, who has already been recognized by the machine and pushed with NWA, when they did Deep Cover, classic film, absolute classic. And I bought that single, loved it, burned a hole in that cassette. I can feel it, boom, doo, 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 doo. Man, are you kidding me? I played that every day back in the day. Like, that was my shit. And I loved Snoop when he first came out. Thought he was the coolest cat. I don't know who's this young guy. He got flow, he's smooth. I like his energy. Let's see where this goes. He came out with his out. I bought Doggy Style. You know what I mean? So I got history here. It ain't like no, you know, out of nowhere. I grew up on this shit. But that's why I'm so disappointed with what he did. So anyway, my point is, when you're spoon fed the mainstream, it ain't hard to be recognized. It ain't hard to be liked, loved, and they got journalists and freaking media people and everybody to shape and shift them any way they need. And for most people who talk all this shit about what they like and don't like and what they ain't gonna do, they don't stand on nothing, man. They don't stand on nothing. If a hype train gets hype enough, they don't want to be the one left out. They'll be like, I'm over here with the cool kids. They said it was cool again, so I'm doing it. Yeah, but you said that was against all your ethics and everything. Now you with it. I don't want to not be. Hey, man, I don't want to be left out, man. It seems like a party over here. Okay. So the grassroots, independent, underground, show enough art life cats like me, they get gray. I was gonna be that anyway, hereditarily. But I'm saying like I started getting grades a lot earlier than I thought I would. Let's just put it like that. And I still look good for my age. I know that. I still fool people. The other day, somebody told me, "Man, I thought you was 42. You what?" Yeah, you know. So yeah, respect. But it's a job. It's a duty. It's stressful, and it ain't easy. It ain't easy. No one ever said it would be. But I'm telling you, that's why my audience has to reflect me. They have to be the kind of people who understand. Man, Joseph ain't. He might do some mainstream stuff. He is an actor. I've been in Hollywood. I told y'all that. I don't hide my reality, my history. Y'all know what I'm into, and if you don't know, you're gonna learn. You need to look at the playlist. You need to watch an abundance of content before you assume that it's just the little bit that you liked that one day when the algorithm did what you're used to. Because the algorithm is spoon feeding you the way mainstream feeds you. It gives you what it thinks you're gonna like, and y'all don't ask for nothing else because y'all so used to being spoon fed. You don't get spoon fed over here. You got to work for it. But I'm making it an easy job, a job you'll love. Just dig into the playlist. You're gonna see some amazing shit.